Welcome to the 2024 celebration of the 52nd anniversary of EMS in Detroit with the Detroit Fire Department in conjunction with National EMS Week. In the event of an emergency, you will receive direction from this podium. Public bathrooms are located inside this building through the main entrance on the third floor. The Detroit Fire Department began providing dedicated ambulance treatment and transport services in the summer of 1972 with the mission to provide the citizens and visitors of Detroit with compassionate and professional emergency medical care. This year, the Detroit Fire Department takes time out to recognize the hard work, the dedication, the bravery, the compassion and honor of all those past and present that proudly render care as part of the emergency medical services team. The men and women of the Detroit Fire Department serving as medical first responders, EMTs, and paramedics are the brightest and best in the country. The team comprises all DFD employees across all divisions and in all support functions, for it takes everyone working together to deliver the best care possible to the citizens and visitors of Detroit. The theme for this year's National EMS Week is honoring our past, forging our future. And this reflects the road that Detroit Fire Department is traveling in training all personnel to perform medical work. Responding to over 150,000 medical calls for service annually and in record time would not be possible without the over 1,000 and counting medically trained responders at DFD. All employees of the department are hereby commended for their efforts providing pre-hospital medical care to the citizens and visitors of Detroit. Let's give them a big round of applause. We're going to start with Second Deputy Derek Hillman. He's going to come up, introduce himself. Second Deputy Derek Hillman, how many years of the department, and we're going to have Second Deputy Commissioner Stokes, and go down the line. We're going to make it happen.
Good morning, everybody. Second Deputy Commissioner Derek Hillman. I've had 8 years on the Detroit Fire Department.
Okay. Walk around this way.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert Stokes, Second Deputy Fire Commissioner, 30 years on the Detroit Fire Department.
Anthony Watts, Director of Special Projects, 25 years.
LaShonda Davis, Agency Chief Financial Officer, 1 year.
Chief of Department, David Nelson, 33 years of service.
It's a long time.
Fire Marshal Don Thomas for the City of Detroit Fire Department, 24 years.
First Battalion Chief Kevin Claiborne, 33 years.
Good morning. Chief Dennis Hunter, Fire Marshal Division, 25 years.
Good morning, everyone. Chief James Harris, Community Relations Division, 26 years.
Good morning, everyone. Sean Pittman, Chief of Fire Communications, 7 days.
And it's 7 days because Chief Pittman was just appointed chief last Monday. So let's give him a big round of applause. Well deserved. So we're going to begin today's program with the presentation of colors by the combined Detroit Fire Department Windsor Honor Guard, followed by the National Anthem sung by Miss Megan Duke, and the invocation by Chief Chaplain George Aaron.
Honor Guard, attention! Port, on! Forward, at a half step, fire!
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were still gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now, pace. Forward. At a half step. Run. Step. Step. Left. Detail. Up. Right. Pace. Order.
Good morning. It's a privilege of me to be able to stand here at this celebration of over 50 years. Back in 1969, my oldest son was hit by a car, and he got good service from the Detroit Police Department because he was picked up in a station wagon with a cot in the back. That was before we had this great EMS service that we have today. God our Father, we're thankful today that we honor members of the EMS group. Keep them safe as they work night and day to protect us, responding to all kinds of incidents. Keep them safe, be with them, be with their family, and as they support them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Everyone that is not speaking or being interviewed, please have a seat in the audience. Thank you. Everyone can be seated. Our first speaker to start us off is the Executive Fire Commissioner of the best fire department in the country, if not the world. That's Executive Fire Commissioner Chuck Sims.
I couldn't agree with you more, Chief Larkins. But good morning, everyone. My name is Chuck Sims, Executive Fire Commissioner for the City of Detroit. I just want to say I prayed to God last night to hold off the rain, but I didn't ask him about the sun. So I'm going to make this very quick so we won't be getting beat down by the sun. But I just want to say, first of all, I want to recognize a few people, Deputy Mayor Todd Bettison and Councilman Durhall for their support, continued support for the fire department, just their unwavering support. Anything we need or request, they're there to make sure it happens. I also want to recognize a retired Second Deputy Commissioner, Cheryl Campbell. If you could please stand up. She's one of my mentors and one of my favorite people in the world. Glad to have you here. So just want to say this is very exciting. I'm humbled to be here. To have EMS Week, to do the kickoff here is outstanding, and it's just to really recognize and honor the men and women on the Detroit Fire Department who put their lives in risk every single day to provide the best service to the citizens of Detroit. They do an awesome job on a day-to-day basis. One thing I don't want anyone to ever forget is that during the pandemic, these same men and women were out there every single day when 80 or 90% of the world was working remotely. these men and women worked every single day facing the pandemic straight in the face and never wavered once. So let's just give them a round of applause for that. And to close out, just want to say thanks for coming. We have some community events inside the building, and just really excited about the program here. You're going to hear some great stories, some life-saving stories that show that these men and women, they come to work every single day to provide optimal service. Also, I just want to bring up, this is a great time for the City of Detroit Fire Department. We have the best response time to Code 1 emergencies ever in the history, which is under 7 minutes and 30 seconds right now. We have over 1,000 members on the department trained in either medical first responders, EMT, or paramedic. And I'm happy to say that Captain Forbes from the Training Academy will be teaching paramedic classes at our training academy starting January 2025. So that's really exciting news. We want to be not only the trendsetters, but the standard across the country, and we're heading in that direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Our next speaker really needs no introduction. I have to say about this next speaker, I've never seen a high government official in any city that has wrapped their arms around emergency medical services like this fine gentleman has done. He's been our champion. He's been our advocate. He makes sure that we get exactly what we need, and he's just an all-around wonderful person. So right now I give you the Deputy Mayor of the City of Detroit, Todd Bedison.
Good morning. It is definitely my pleasure to be here at this event. The mayor, Mike Duggan, would have been here himself, but for he's out of town. And so I get the distinct honor of being able to provide a proclamation to the EMS and Detroit Fire Department. So it's EMS week, so I'm going to make sure I put that EMS first, definitely. City of Detroit Fire Department, this is the 52nd anniversary of Detroit EMS in conjunction with National EMS Week, of course, May 19th through the 25th of this year. Whereas it is with great pleasure and privilege that I, Mayor Michael E. Duggan, on behalf of the City of Detroit, recognize and bestow honor upon the men and women of the Detroit Fire Department in recognition of the 52nd anniversary of Detroit EMS in conjunction with National EMS Week, which runs from May 19th through the 25th. This year's theme is honoring our past and forging our future, which is so appropriate, especially when you're a trendsetter and an iconic fire department, EMS department in the city of Detroit, which all of the others aspire and wish to be. The Detroit Fire Department began providing dedicated ambulance treatment and transportation service in the summer of 1972 with the mission to provide the citizens and visitors of Detroit with compassionate and professional emergency medical care. With the continuation of the Detroit Fire Department dual role training program, where new hires are trained as both EMTs and firefighters, the fire department has now over 1,000 medically licensed individuals providing care at the MFR, medical first response, EMT, and paramedic level, staffing over 60 medically licensed apparatus, responding to over 150 calls per year annually. That is, when you really think about it, you know, when somebody's experiencing an emergency, you call that 911. And I know that we're at historic low response times or reflex times as far as our EMTs getting on the scene, and the dual role has helped out tremendously with that. But whether it's 7 minutes you arrive or whether it's 5 minutes, the persons that are really experiencing that emergency, it seems like forever to them. But you're getting there in record time and saving lives. And just on behalf of all the citizens of the city of Detroit, I just want to thank my EMTs. I want to thank EMS. I want to really thank you all because you make a difference, and the city of Detroit can't rise and be at the pinnacle without you all. So whether it's the NFL draft and keeping all of us safe, the 725,000+ visitors that just got into the footprint, we knew it was a lot more than that. You know, you are all making it possible and happening. I'll get right back to this proclamation. Whereas that I, Michael E. Duggan, Mayor of the City of Detroit, do value the accomplishments of the Detroit Fire Department and encourage the community to continue to support, as it has since the summer of 1972, the men and women of the Detroit Fire Department as they continue to provide life-saving medical care with compassion to the citizens and visitors of Detroit, not only for today, but well into the future. So it's signed, of course, it has the City of Detroit seal on it, signed by our mayor on this day of May 19, year 2024. Thank you all so much. Keep up the great job, and just know that we all support you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Accepting the proclamation is Assistant Superintendent of EMS, Robert Okowski. Our next speaker is a representative from City Council. I have to say, you know, in the city, we have this city email blast that we get all city employees, and it highlights what's going on in the community, in particular in the council districts. And I have to say that from what I've seen personally, there probably is no council member that works as hard or hustles as hard as our next speaker. He's a great guy, wonderful personality. I'd like to bring up Council Member Fred Durhall.
I will have your check very shortly for those kind words, but just good morning to you all. I work hard because you all work hard. I always state how I admire each and every one of you because when folks are running away from danger, you are running towards danger. Most of the time, I'm either sitting at a council table or at a community meeting shaking hands, but you are getting calls in the middle of the night working to save folks' lives. And so as we celebrate EMS Week, over 5 decades of that type of service, all I can say is thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know that we have been focused on increasing our services here in the city of Detroit, but that starts from us as well, investing in each and every one of you, whether that be equipment, whether that be just, you know, support to you and encouraging words. Those things are very, very, very important. Many of you have attended tons of community events that we place and put on. You do that in your own time, even when you're not working. The residents are really appreciative of every single thing that you do. So today I am here on behalf of all of our council members, but all of our residents who need you, who, when we are in our toughest and worst moments, the most dangerous moments, when we fear, you have the courage to come and save our lives. And so God bless you all. I look forward to continuing to support each and every one of you for what you do every single day to keep our residents of the city of Detroit safe and alive. God bless you all.
Thank you, Councilmember Durhall. We appreciate those comments. Our next speaker, you know, we have obviously local emergency medical services, but we also have emergency medical service at the state level. And the state level, they give us our protocols, they oversee everything, keep us on the straight path as emergency response agencies. But our next speaker is and this is a lot, so hold on, is the Director of the Division of EMS and Systems of Care, Bureau of Emergency Preparedness, EMS, and Systems of Care, Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. That's a mouthful, but she does a lot of work and does a lot of great work. And I'd now like to bring up Miss Emily Berquist.
Thanks to Chief Larkins for inviting me today. I was thinking about this before I came down. EMS Week is 50 years old, and it was declared by President Gerald Ford, who's our Michigander president. So it's kind of like Detroit EMS's younger sibling. We'll give that to you as your younger sibling. This year's theme, Honoring Our Past, Forging Our Future, pays homage to our relatively short heritage of serving others in their time of need. It also offers us the opportunity to think of the future of EMS and what we are capable of as clinicians and as a system. We've come very, very far, but we still are capable of more, I'm sure of it. Mostly, I just hope that you all have a great EMS week. I hope you're guided to do what is right for your patient. I hope that you, your partners, and your families are all safe. And I hope that you are supported, not just this week, not just today, but every day and at all times. Your work is important and your diligence is recognized, so have a great EMS week.
Thank you, Ms. Berquist. We appreciate those comments. Our next speaker is a fellow of the American College of Emergency Physicians and a fellow of the Academy of Emergency Medical Physicians. He currently serves as the Detroit Fire Department Medical Director and the Chief Medical Consultant for the City of Detroit. So the whole city. So if anybody has an issue, the city departments, they talk to this particular individual. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up the preeminent Dr. Robert Dunn.
Dr. Dunn.
Thank you, Sean. I just want to say that while we're celebrating EMS Week, and EMS Week is exciting and it's a chance to recognize the work that's being done, here in Detroit, every day is EMS Day. We have over 400 calls for service. And when I think about what EMS and the emergency medical system, and it really is a system, right? Our EMS is part of the care that a trauma patient, a burn patient, a patient who's having an acute stroke or acute heart attack or a cardiac arrest is getting. We are an important piece of that system every single day. And we're here for those citizens. There are people all over this town and all over the area from folks who've been visiting that are alive today because of the actions of our fire department and our EMS system. And it's really those people that we celebrate and the work that we recognize. We recognize that great work from crews at meetings various times during the year. We celebrate it during EMS Week. But every day, folks are out there providing that care, and that care is making a difference. In the end, what we're really judged on is the outcomes of those patients. And there's tough cases, there's hard cases, there's victims of violence, there's victims of chronic disease, there's happy cases. Our EMS delivers many babies every single year. And those babies are out there through their entire lives and entire careers after being born in someone's living room or in the back of an ambulance. And I just want to make sure that we're thinking about that every day, because we might not need 911 every day. We might not need EMS every day. But sometime we or someone we care about is going to need 911 and is going to need that ambulance. And it's going to be there because of the actions of all the people who are here. So thank you very much. And please thank your EMS folks during EMS Week and all year round.
And our next speaker is kind of not really new to the department by any means, but he's new to his position. Position is very important. When you think about the over 1,000 members of the Detroit Fire Department that risk their lives each and every day to protect and serve the citizens and visitors of Detroit, somebody has to keep all that together. Somebody has to keep them focused and marching forward towards the goal. I'd like to introduce to you Chief of Department and my friend, Chief Nelson.
morning, everyone. Today, I have the distinct honor of speaking about the remarkable achievements of the Detroit Fire Department with a focus on the exceptional work of our EMS. The Detroit Fire Department has a storied history of bravery, resilience, and dedication. And its EMS division stands as a shining example of these qualities in action. Over the years, our EMS teams have proven to be an indispensable lifeline of our community. They respond to over 100,000 calls annually, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to the health and safety of Detroit's residents. Whether it's a heart attack, a traumatic injury, or a complicated childbirth, our EMS professionals are on the scene within minutes, providing critical care and comfort in some of the most challenging circumstances. Moreover, the EMS teams have been pioneers in community outreach and education. They conduct regular training sessions on CPR and first aid, empowering our citizens to take proactive steps in emergency situations. This initiative has fostered a sense of community resilience, ensuring that more people are equipped to act during critical moments. The Detroit Fire Department's EMS division embodies the spirit and service and excellence of our department. Their achievements are a testament to their rigorous training, professionalism, expertise, their compassionate hearts. They stand as everyday heroes, not just in moments of high drama, but in their consistent, unwavering service to our community. Let us take a moment to acknowledge and thank these incredible men and women for their relentless efforts, their bravery, and their profound impact on the safety and well-being of Detroiters and our visitors. They are the heartbeat of our city's emergency response system, and we profoundly are grateful for their service. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And again, he's the newly appointed Chief of Department. Do I see Chief Wyatt in the audience? I do see Chief Wyatt. Chief Wyatt, can you come out from under the tent and stand up for a minute? So Chief Wyatt, I'm not going to put her on the spot, but Chief Wyatt just retired as the Chief of Communications for the City of Detroit Fire Department. She was replaced by Chief Sean Pittman. Chief Wyatt, you know what? Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. So just a little bit about Chief Wyatt. When she was appointed as Chief of Communications, that's what we call internally in the department like an executive level position on the commissioner's staff. All the division heads are chiefs. And she was, I believe, the first ever Chief of Communications, female chief, the first ever chief, the longest serving chief on the commissioner's executive staff as a female. She just set all kinds of trends and blazed the trail in helping us get these response times down. She was a true boss in every sense of the word. You can ask her subordinates about that later. But she kept them in line. And she's a great asset to the city and to the fire department. And I just wanted to bring Chief Wyatt up to give her a special recognition.
Good morning. I would like to thank everyone in the Detroit Fire Department, especially Executive Commissioner Charles Sims, for giving me the opportunity to lead the Communications Division. Without the staff that I had and the opportunities that were made available to me to continue to do the work that was expected of the Fire Department and to keep the mission of and the goals of the Fire Department going forward. I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you.
So this wasn't planned at all. But, you know, as the Executive Fire Commissioner, sometimes you see that star in your team, and Chief Wyatt, retired Chief Wyatt, is that star. And so I was going to wait until tomorrow, but as of today, she's the second deputy commissioner. I appointed her the second deputy commissioner today.
I want to thank the Commissioner, the Deputy Mayor, and Mike Duggan. I appreciate the opportunity to continue the mission that I had planned to go forward with. Thank you.
See, I was prepared and brought Kleenex because there's more coming. Just stay tuned. All right, so normally what we have on every Tuesday, we have a report that goes out. This is since Mayor Duggan became mayor. Of course, he wanted our response times to come down. Response times were horrible. Were horrible in the city, despite the best efforts of the men and women in Detroit. It got to one point where we had like 5 or 6 ambulances to service the whole city. And that was obviously not acceptable. So the mayor wanted metrics for us to drill down and see what the problem was. And we started working and fixed the problem. And every week we report out, first at the commissioner's executive meeting on Tuesday with all of us, and then the commissioner goes to the mayor's cabinet meeting on Wednesday and reports out on the numbers. So the gentleman that's been caring for our medical metrics since 2014, I'm going to bring him up, Lieutenant Falls. Come on up, Lieutenant Falls. Lieutenant Falls started DFD in June of 1997, so he's been around for a while. Lieutenant, just so tell us, back in 2014, what was the situation like from a data perspective?
Bad. So, bring that up a little bit. So in 2014, we had 62,546 Code 1 responses. Our average response time from time of call till time on scene was 14 minutes and 2 seconds.
That's 14 minutes and 2 seconds. So imagine life-threatening emergency, the average response time. So that means you have those that are lower. You have some that are way higher, right? We've heard the news stories. People waiting for 45 minutes an hour for an EMS vehicle, right? Okay. So tell us, last year, how many calls for service overall did we have?
Calls for service overall last year, we had 151,237 calls for service.
Okay, is that the most that you've seen in doing the numbers in 1 year?
The last couple of years have been in the 150s, so yeah, it's gone up.
Okay, and what was our average reflex time for last week?
So for last week, our reflex for the Code 1 calls for the week was 7 minutes and 11 seconds.
7 minutes and 11 seconds. And we always talk about these great response times, but you know, unless you're the recipient of that call, you don't really understand it. But we appreciate your work, Lieutenant Falls, in preparing this data faithfully and accurately every week, even when he's on vacation. And we appreciate all your fine efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
So as good as those times are, wouldn't it be great to be able to get them down a lot lower?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Have the amen corner right here. It would be great to get those times down a lot lower. Do you think we can do better as a city, all of us here, in getting a trained medical responder to the side of someone in need? What can we do? Well, stick around. We're going to find out a little bit later. But right now, just think about that in your head. What can we do to bring these response times down lower? So I believe we have, and this is important, I invited the Department of Neighborhoods to come. And if you could just please stand, all of you from the Department of Neighborhoods. Actually, come on out from under the shade. I'm not going to have you speak, just come on up. I believe we have District 1 Manager Carla Williams, District 1st Deputy Manager Steele Hughes, District 2 Manager Kim Tandy, District 2 Deputy Manager Sean Davis, District 3 Manager Kiana Sessoms, District 3 Deputy Manager Kinsey Current, District 4 Deputy Manager Ebony DeBerry, District 5 Manager Joshua Roberson, District 5 Deputy Manager Keith Butler, District 6 Manager Eva Torres, District 6 Deputy Manager Antonio Mora Mills, District 7 Deputy Manager Alexia Davis, Volunteer Coordinator Tony Stovall, and Resource Manager Metro Bank. So everybody just take a look, turn around. And these are the wonderful people that are responsible for keeping the community informed, keeping the community, hey, you know what, let me just read it. The Department of Neighborhoods directly connects the city of Detroit with block clubs, community groups, businesses, faith, and school leaders and residents. With a 14-member team, including district and deputy managers for each city council district, their focus is combating blight and enhancing neighborhoods. They engage thousands in major initiatives like the Motor City Makeover and smaller efforts such as vacant lots cleanups. Beyond that, our district and deputy managers assist in forming block clubs, drive community engagement in planning projects, address complaints, and educate residents on city programs and policies. So we want to give them a big round of applause, show them some love, and they actually are going to have an assignment that they don't know about after the ceremony is over. So you can be seated. Thank you so much. So any retirees present here from EMS? Do we have any retirees present? Okay. All right. We have two of the long-standing retirees. Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, they didn't expect this. That's okay. And we have ladies first. You two can please stand at the microphone there.
Hello.
We have here Second Deputy Commissioner, former Second Deputy Commissioner Cheryl Campbell. Now, Cheryl Campbell, I came on the job, since everybody's talking about how long we've been here, I came on the job September 5th, 1995. And Second Deputy Cheryl Campbell was the captain of the EMS training section. So she oversaw my training way back in 1995 as the captain. She moved up through the Detroit Fire Department and became a Second Deputy Fire Commissioner, did great things on behalf of the department and EMS, and I would like to have you just say a few words for our guests.
I really wasn't expecting this, but thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. No EMS service will do well without training. You have to have training. And the training cannot be something that's just a pushover. It has to have some substance to it. When I retired, I had 36 years on the job. And I loved coming to work. And the one thing that you realize about working for the fire department, especially EMS, everything is important to relationships. Your partner, we work 12 hours. Your partner can make the day go by in 6 hours or 24 hours. It just depends. So it's important that you start off in the training academy and you learn the rules and regulations, the policies, how to speak to people, because not every day is a trauma day. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you may get that 80-year-old lady who just wants to talk, and you've had 14 runs by that time. But it's okay, because that's part of your job. So to the men and women of EMS, I'm so proud of this day and everybody that has come along and will pay it forward. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you, Now this next young man here, you know, again, I started in '95, and this gentleman next to me was already on the job for quite some time. And everybody, no matter where they work or what they do, all have that living legend that they know, that they've worked with, they've heard about his great work that he does, his amazing ability to save lives. One of the first paramedics on the Detroit Fire Department, and really just an outstanding gentleman. And his name is paramedic Danny Warren. Danny Warren, when did you start EMS?
50 years ago, 1974.
1974, 50 years ago. What were you doing before EMS 50 years ago?
I was a respiratory therapist working in a hospital.
Respiratory therapist working in a hospital. What made you want to come to Detroit to work as a medic?
I don't know. It was something to do different. It was challenging. I liked working with people, trying to assist and help people.
Okay. And that was 52 years ago. That's amazing. And you look at him, you would have thought he was 42 years old. I think he is. But I just want to, and I saw you here. I know you're one of those living legends. You're very important to EMS. Everybody still talks about Danny Warren.
Thank you.
Just so you know that, of course, in a good way. And we're thankful that you could be here to share in this moment. Thank you, sir. And thank you for your service. Thank you too, DC Campbell.
Thank you.
So we talked about training as Second Deputy Campbell brought out. Commissioner brought out about COVID. Just tell you a little bit something about training and COVID. So when COVID happened, and you think about the fire department, and you think about a life-threatening emergency and your house is on fire, you're going the other way, right? But these men and women, brave men and women of the Detroit Fire Department are going into your house. They don't know you. It's not their stuff in your house, okay? But they're going in your house to save your life and protect your property. They're going into harm's way. And that's you see all the TV shows. We need to have one for Detroit. We'll work on that. But you see all the TV shows about the bravery that firefighters exhibit, going into harm's way when everyone else is going the opposite direction. COVID was no different. COVID was, and we have to talk about it because that was just such a novel thing to be able to live through a life-threatening pandemic like that, where everybody's life was uncertain, in danger. People started working from home. Some people think that's great. Actually, I did more work from home than I did in the office, but we had our frontline people that men and women of the Detroit Fire Department that were there right in the thick of COVID. And in particular, our EMS supervisors were on the front lines. So let me just tell you a little bit about that. So the EMS supervisors spearheaded new initiatives that had never been thought of before to keep the citizens, employees, and responders safe during the COVID-19 outbreak, during the pandemic. We were involved with planning, tracking, monitoring, and coordinating the following. We had an internal COVID-19 response for all city employees. City government has to keep working, right? So how do we keep them safe? The Detroit Fire Department, in particular the EMS supervisors, were charged with that project to keep them safe. And we also oversaw the partnership with the Detroit Health Department in testing Detroit's more vulnerable populations. We went into the nursing homes, the EMS supervisors did, and the homeless shelters to test those citizens for COVID-19. As the supervisors, EMS, we were concerned for responder safety, because if we get sick with COVID, we can't help you, right? So we coordinated the tracking, testing, monitoring, convalescing, morale phone calls, and return to duty of the whole department, MFRs, EMTs, and paramedics on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. Participated in local, state, and regional planning and response activities to ensure effective COVID-19 response for the citizens and visitors of Detroit. What else did the EMS supervisors do? They're responsible for training all new hires. All new hires now trained to the level of emergency medical technician. Provide continuing education to all department employees, provide community education, mentorship to new hires, and guidance and counseling during the process that we call certification. Because once you come out, you work as a third person on the ambulance and until you're ready to work one-on-one. So for all the hard work that our EMS supervisors do, who are often the unsung heroes of the department, we'd like them to stand and be acknowledged. All the supervisors, RTC, field operations, are they all? Stand, wave your hand. Captain Forbes, wave your hand. Captain of training. Thank you very much. So one of the things that we did for EMS Week, you know, is the end of budget season, and we're kind of trying to figure out how we're going to get things to recognize the great efforts of our men and women of the fire department. So we reached out to donors, and at this point, I'd like to acknowledge those donors, and please come on up when I call you. Detroit Firemen's Fund, Detroit Medical Center, the Detroit Zoological Society, which unfortunately they can't be here today, but they send their best regards. They're actually having a big event. I can't tell you about it, but it's going to be a great time at the zoo this year. We have Guestaurant. That's the restaurant on the third floor here. We have Henry Ford Health. We have the Motor City Casino. And we have the Salvation Army. So everyone is here, and we'd like to thank you all. And what they did was they donated or supplied gifts, which you'll see a little later, and donated some great things that we're actually going to have a drawing for today. Some really outstanding things, and we appreciate all of your great work and your help. So DMC, thank you. And Fireman's Fund, as Captain Dixon does double duty. Okay, so Sue's not here. We have Guestaurant. Is Debbie here? Someone from the building? Okay, we'll make sure Debbie gets it. We have Henry Ford Health. Thank you. Motor City Casino. Okay, they're busy running the slots. All right. And Salvation Army, they're kind of tied up, but they're over there. I'll make sure they get their award. And what it reads is Detroit Fire Department 52nd Anniversary Detroit EMS Partnership Award. And this award is presented to each one of them. Thank you for celebrating the 52nd anniversary of EMS in Detroit with the Detroit Fire Department during National EMS Week, May 19th through the 25th, 2024. Your generous donation in acknowledgement of the outstanding service to the citizens and visitors of Detroit performed by the more than 1,000 medically licensed responders of the Detroit Fire Department is valued and greatly appreciated. So we want to give them a big round of applause. And thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. All right, you ready for the good stuff? Ready for the fun stuff? Have your Kleenex ready? All right. We're going to start off, call Miss Lynette Wood up to the microphone. So Lynette Wood started in October of 1999 with the Detroit Fire Department in the EMS division as an emergency medical technician. How many years were you working in that capacity?
22 years. I've been here for 24, but 22 years actively on the ambulance.
Okay. And what do you do now?
I am the personal guidance unit clinical coordinator, so I'm a licensed professional counselor through the state of Michigan. And I provide services to technicians, firefighters, dispatchers, family members of the members of the department.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about peer support. What do they do?
Yeah. So peer support started in 2018. Everyone on the peer support team is a volunteer from different divisions of our Detroit Fire Department, communications, chiefs, retired personnel, EMTs, dispatchers again, anyone that has been vetted and able to make it through our rigorous training and interview process.
And why is PGU and peer support so important to the men and women of the Detroit Fire Department?
It's important because it helps for the members to know that they're cared about through the things that they see, things that they're experiencing not only on the job, but in their personal life, because it all integrates into one at times. So taking care of the members of our department.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So Ms. Lynette Wood, we're giving you the medical commendation. This commendation is presented to Ms. Lynette Wood, MS, LPC, NCC, I didn't forget. You are hereby commended for your dedication, compassion, and professionalism in service to the Detroit Fire Department. The emotional support that you provide ensures that DFD responders are able to care for the needs of others.
Thank you kindly.
Very important. When you think about a job like this, you need all the emotional support that we can get. So we appreciate your efforts, Ms. Wood. Next, we'll have Mr. Khalid Irvin. Come on up, sir. Actually, when we started off and I first talked to Mr. Irvin, I met him in the what we call the MAC for the NFL draft. Actually, I knew him before, but never really had a chance to sit down and talk with him. Very interesting. Oh, he's tall too. Very, very interesting person. So, when we first started, what was your rank in communications?
Communication, I was ranked as a fire dispatcher.
Fire dispatcher. Okay. But since we started talking, it's now Sergeant Irving as of last week. So we appreciate you getting promoted to Sergeant Irving, and you did a great job. So Sergeant Irving started with DFD in July of 2013. Okay, working as a dispatcher in the communications division. Actually worked under Chief Wyatt and Chief Pittman. But before that, he worked in collections and registration at various hospitals. He sold furniture. He even ran for state representative. Okay. Sergeant Irvin also is a certified drone pilot and flies drones for the Detroit Fire Department. He's working towards earning his private pilot's license, and as a member of the Civil Air Patrol, plays a role in emergency management and search and rescue of downed aircraft, and works with an aviation cadet program, serving as a mentor to children ages 12 to 18. I think that's an outstanding record of service. So when you first started working as a dispatcher, were you required to have a medical license?
At that time, no, but in the beginning of during the time that the fire department was developing their MFR program, I soon became a first responder, medical first responder.
Okay, so he took the training and became a medical first responder, able to get on these apparatus and save a life. So that's outstanding. In what ways are being a dispatcher useful to the DFD personnel responding to medical calls for service?
The main responsibility of the communication division is to communicate information to those first responders, location, pertinent information that they would need to assure that there is scene safety.
Okay, he does a great job, an outstanding job of keeping the responders safe. You also give updates on situations, so you maintain situational awareness for the responders. If something should change, you communicate that, and we appreciate your efforts with that. So as a dispatcher, he sits in front of a console with multiple computer screens down here on the fourth floor in the building. And so he therefore doesn't often get an opportunity to come out and interact directly with patients. But you had an interesting opportunity to use your medical training. It was actually in helping a police commander. Can you tell us what happened and how you assisted?
It was a regular day at work. I returned from break. And as I entered the area of the communication center, there was an officer down. My co-workers had already begun CPR. Because of my MFR training, like a blink of an eye, I determined that we needed the medical bags. I went to get the medical bags. I brought them back. We initiated continued CPR. And that experience for me was one of the most rewarding experiences so far with the Detroit Fire Department. Because of my training and the opportunity to become a person that is able to assist with saving a life, I experienced an opportunity to see the professionalism of the fire department. At the time, my sergeant, my captain, my lieutenant, assistant chief, they took the helm of dispatch while we were able to go and assist a fallen comrade. And I'll never forget that moment when I was able to see what the Detroit Fire Department Emergency Medical Services is capable of doing.
All right, thank you, Sergeant Irvin. You are hereby commended for your dedication, compassion, and professionalism in service to the citizens and visitors of Detroit. Your skill, quick thinking, and decisive actions made a difference in the lives of those we serve. So I'd like to thank you, sir. Okay, you be seated. Next, we'll have Ms. Janelle Love. Come on up. Janelle Love, a daughter of a retired DFD lieutenant, born and raised in Detroit, spent 9 years and 3 months in the United States Marine Corps and was deployed to Iraq 3 different times. Before coming to the fire department, she worked at the U.S. Postal Service, but she wanted to serve her community as an emergency management specialist. So she left the post office and pursued her education to become an emergency medical technician, applied for DFD, and became one of our great dual-role employees. Now, her title when we started was firefighter EMT, but you also received a promotion and a change in job assignment. What's your title now?
A firefighter driver.
Firefighter driver. So congratulations on becoming that. She's going to make sure that those vehicles are properly operated on the road and not getting in a single accident, and we thank you for that.
That's right.
So one of your passions in speaking to you is caring not just for the physical needs of your patients, but also for their emotional needs. And you encountered a patient that had some issues and required that skill set. So tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, so I arrived on the scene of a patient, a particular patient who has frequent calls. And so upon entering the residence, the patient was highly combative and hostile. And so immediately I knew I had to take control of the scene. And I spoke with this patient very calmly and let her know that, we were there to help. And this patient was new to me. I'd never met her before, but I was told that this patient called frequently. And it was through interacting with this patient with a very calm demeanor and letting her know that, we got you. We're here to take care of you. Got this patient in the back of the ambulance and en route to the hospital. She just wanted to talk, so I was there to listen, and I actively listened to this patient. Long story short, upon our arrival to the hospital, after I transferred care over to the personnel at the hospital, the nurses came to me afterwards and said, "What in the world did you do to this patient to get this patient so calm?" Because 100% of the time when we received this patient, they didn't even recognize this particular patient because she has some mental health issues, and they'd never seen this patient in the very calm demeanor that I had brought her in. And so they just wanted to know, what did I do? And I said, I just treated her with respect, patience, and kindness. And that's the attitude and the demeanor that I treat all of my patients, no matter how I show up to work. I plan to interact with all of my patients that way. And so
we appreciate that, firefighter FFD Janelle Love. You are hereby commended for your dedication, compassion, and professionalism in service to the citizens and visitors of Detroit as well. Your skill, quick thinking, decisive actions, and I might add compassion, make a difference in the lives of those we serve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have firefighter EMT Amir Al-Mansoub. And if we can have Chief Vasquez to stand behind him, if he's here, and if Chief Braxton is here as well. So, firefighter EMT Amir Al-Mansoub started DFD in February of 2022. Hello. Hi. I'll get to you in a second. Prior to coming to DFD, firefighter EMT Al-Mansoub worked as a porter at a car dealership. Also worked for the U.S. Postal Service. Wow. We're taking all their people. When a kid growing up in Detroit's southwest side, his house caught fire, and DFD came to assist. Due to the professionalism and bravery he saw on behalf of him and his family, firefighter EMT Al-Mansoub knew that he wanted to be a firefighter. When he saw the recruiting announcement on the City of Detroit website, he applied, and 6 months later was in the same class, actually, as FFD Love. So we know you wanted to be a firefighter. How did you feel when you were told you also had to provide EMS services and become an EMT?
I was very grateful. No matter what it is, I learned that everything is an experience, and I will always continue to grow and educate myself. And no matter what it is, if my love of fire, becoming a firefighter, will get me through anything, no matter what. So even if I have to include EMT, which I think it's a personal education and experience to have, it made me grow. And as a citizen of Detroit, I am proud to be a citizen as well as a person who is there to help the next person in line. Because I realized little hurdles will cause big actions and impact to other people, just like myself.
All right. Thank you. We appreciate that. Appreciate those heartfelt comments. Not too long ago this year, and we have the chief here because he actually initiated you being put in for accommodation for this. There was a call for a baby choking. Well, actually, he didn't have to go to the patient's house to assist. The patient, the baby, was brought to him at the firehouse. So tell us about that.
So it was a normal, good hot day. Matter of fact, it's a little cold today, but yeah. Anyways, so she came in the vehicle, came right in front of the garage door. We opened up the door. She was in a panic. She was carrying her 2-year-old baby, female. unconscious completely, dead weight and everything, and she was crying and seeping, don't know what to do. So I just reacted. I knew right away that I had to help her immediately, took charge, grabbed the baby, did the procedures I was taught by the Education of Detroit, which I'm very grateful of. I reacted quick enough, and I was grateful to have that reaction because the citizens of Detroit and the school from the Harris Apartment Building, including my instructors, all y'all, helped me become who I am today. And I just did the procedures that I was taught, did the abdominal thrust, and managed to dislodge something that she was choking on. When the mother told me she was choking on something, I immediately did that procedure. As I was doing that, I commanded the rest of my partners to bring all the procedures like the AEDs, the packs, and everything as I was doing this maneuver. About the third cycle, she dislodged the object and began to breathe and began to become very conscious. Awake, alerted, scared, crying, but I was glad she was crying because you know what they say, a crying baby is a healthy baby.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that recollection of the events. Just imagine, though, if you were that parent and you have your child.
It's okay, take your time.
Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. And you have your child that's in desperate need of help, and your child could die. Just imagine what that mom must have been through and how grateful she was to have her child back to live another day. But you don't need to hear me talk about it. Mom, why don't you come on up and tell us?
You're here? Oh, where are you?
Come on, Mom.
I had no idea. Holy moly. Hey. How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy to be here to be able to tell my experience from dealing with the Detroit Fire and EMS department. These two gentlemen right here, when I pulled up to the fire station, I was in a complete panic and I was banging on the door for help. And I'm like, please come out and help my daughter. She's 2-year-old, she's epileptic, and she's choking on a mango. And he ran over to my car and he helped get my daughter, and he screamed out, he was like, we need a medic. And it was so surreal. It was almost like a scene out of Chicago Fire. And this gentleman immediately ran over, he got my baby, and he started patting on her back to dislodge the mango. And I grew more worried because it was taking a couple of minutes to get the mango out of her. So then someone yelled for a medic bag, someone yelled for the EMS to be pulled around. He was able to dislodge the mango from my daughter. They gave her some oxygen to get her stable because she was out of it. She was purple, she was gray, she wasn't even coughing anymore. And they really helped save my daughter because during those moments I was scared, but I knew if I got to the fire department that they could help me. And I was really counting on them to help save my baby because I didn't know what to do. And I'm so happy that I was in that moment. I had these two men. He assisted everything. He told everybody what to do. He was like, check on Mom. It was just amazing. And I'm just so happy to be able to tell my story, how they helped save my daughter's life. Because my daughter, she was gray, she was purple, and she was not breathing anymore. She was choking on a mango. And these men helped my daughter. And that was a lot of pressure for me to put on them in that moment. Because in those moments, I was like, help, you guys are the help. Fix it. That was just all I had in me, and I'm just so happy to be able to be here and to congratulate both of you because it is amazing. I'm happy that y'all are close to me, and I feel safe knowing that if I ever need help, that these gentlemen are going to be the ones that could possibly help me. Thank you so much today.
Thank you. Don't leave. Stand there. So for firefighter EMT Alman Sub and Chief Samuel Vasquez, and we'll give Chief Braxton's commendation to COD. You are hereby commended for your dedication, compassion, and professionalism in service to the citizens and visitors of Detroit. Your skill, quick thinking, and decisive actions, as we heard firsthand, make a difference in the lives of those we serve. Stay here, sir. Thank you, sir. Stay here, Chief. Stay here. Yes, sir. So I told you you're going to need some Kleenex for this. The Fireman's Fund, located on the third floor of this building, Detroit Fireman's Fund Association for the Relief of Disabled Firemen, is a Michigan nonprofit corporation. It was first incorporated on April 13, 1867, and reincorporated on April 13, 1897, making it one of the oldest corporations in Michigan. They assist injured firefighters with specific needs that may not be met elsewhere and help ease the burden on a deceased firefighter's family by planning and coordinating components of a traditional firefighter funeral. The fund also sponsors groups that continue to stay involved in community service and/or charitable fundraising activities, such as the Detroit Fire Department Honor Guard, which you saw earlier, Detroit Fire Department Clown Team, and Detroit Fire Department Hockey Team, and the Michigan Fallen Firefighters Memorial Rig. So I don't know if Debbie is here from the fund or if Captain Dixon is still here, but, sorry. Debbie's here?
Debbie's over there in the corner. Get her.
Where's Debbie?
Yes, she is.
Come on up, Debbie. So what we like to do when we have a new member of the family, and obviously Mom is one of the newest members of the DFD family, is you got to look the part. Right? So what the Fireman's Fund has done with Debbie Lyon and Director Fett is, I'll show you. Send it to Mom. And these bags are some of the greatest clothing you will ever wear. We have Detroit Fireman's Fund, first of all, black coffee mug, a blue travel tumbler, a red DFD Dalmatian dress for the baby, a pink DFD shirt, a pink DFD shirt for the baby, a Detroit EMS shirt, a DFD t-shirt with Skyline, a DFD shirt with a fire shirt with the flag, a fire EMS shirt with the flag, an EMS mock turtleneck, and Detroit EMS job shirt, which is one of those really nice blue ones with the patches on the elbows. So we wanted you to have that to welcome you to the family, and now you can wear the clothing with pride.
Yes,
thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, be seated. Thank you. So as we mentioned earlier, we can get to a patient life-threatening emergency within minutes. Last week was Sunday, around 7 minutes. And we asked the question, do you think we can do better in getting a trained medical responder to the side of someone in need in a timely manner? What can we do? All of us here, what can we do? If you are with a loved one, a friend, a coworker, even a stranger, be it at home, at work, at the playground, or the mall, and they had a life-threatening emergency, how long is it going to take a trained medical person to get to their side? 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes? I think we can do it in a few seconds, because all of you here can be that medically trained person that is seconds away. After the ceremony has completed, you can start your very own training with, first of all, a tour of these ambulances and the equipment. We're going to show all this great stuff off that we get through from City Council. And we're also going to have medical training on the third floor called the Schuyler Herbert Room from some of the best medical educators in the country, Detroit Fire Department Regional Training Center. There you're going to learn hands-only CPR, bleeding control, and other training that will help you to make a difference. And then when you're done, right down the hallway on the third floor is Detroit Fireman's Fund. Pick up your uniforms. So, before you're dismissed, we have one last order of business. You need to become part of the team. So all that are able, please stand. Everyone here, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Don't say state your name. You have to say your name. want to make a difference in my community. I am committed to learning life-saving skills and using those skills in order to make a difference to my loved ones, my neighbors, and anyone that is in need, such as hands-only CPR, bleeding control, or placing a call to 911. By the power invested in me as the Superintendent of Emergency Medical Services on this day, Monday, May 20th, 2024, I now pronounce you all a member of the DFD EMS team. Boy, getting old is something else, isn't it? Well, on behalf of Mayor Mike Duggan, Executive Fire Commissioner Chuck Sims, and the over 1,000 EMS responders of the Detroit Fire Department, we wish you all good health and long life. And again, welcome to the family. Thank you all for attending today.